Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the March 24th edition of Carolina Week.
Provisions in healthcare reform could directly affect your college experience.
I'm Bethany Tuggle. Will introduce you to a family of former refugees trying to adjust to life in the United States.
In sports, the John Henson Show rolls on to the Big Apple, and we'll show you who impressed the scouts at football's Pro Day.
Weathercaster John Boyer will tell us what the weekend has in store for us.
All that and one busy Tar Heel is still finding the time to follow his dreams. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Whether you're for healthcare reform or against it, it's now the law of the land. Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Lamb.
And I'm Andrea Blanford. A piece of that healthcare reform legislation will affect college students and their wallets. In this economic downturn, more students are looking for ways to get financial aid. Chris Neal joins us live in the studio with more. Chris?
Andrea, the bill President Obama signed into law yesterday also has provisions to make federal student loans more affordable for students across the nation, including here at UNC. With the passage of healthcare reform on Tuesday, also came changes in the process of federal student aid. Lots of UNC students are able to attend college every year because of federal loans, and now the process for obtaining that financial aid could become a little easier.
Some of my friends that had some loans but not enough, and then they couldn't stay, or they had to transfer to a different school that was more affordable. I think this will help them because they'll be able to get the loans on their own.
The Office of Scholarships and Financial Aid believes the provisions in the past legislation will be beneficial in helping making a college education more affordable.
We're actually pleased that it's moving forward. We have known that the student loan reform bill was out there for about the last year, and we've been trying to figure out all year long what that was going to mean to us.
The changes students may see with the new law include increases in the amounts of Pell Grants, lower monthly payments on federal loans, and the elimination of private institutions in the federal loan process. The goal? To make a college education less of a financial burden.
I think it'll actually help out a lot. At least in my case, I was the one in charge of filling out my FAFSA and financial forms, so if it just makes things easy for the student when they're coming here, and one less thing to worry about financially.
With UNC opening its doors to more and more students each year, this will help more students take advantage of the Carolina experience.
We love the federal money that comes in because we get to give that away in addition to our state money and our institutional money, and it helps us better serve students. Any additional Pell Grant money we can get is only going to help us do a better job for our students.
With the new provisions, the government can also award grants to provide additional aid to students and even more funding to community colleges.
So, Chris, what's the biggest change students can expect to see when trying to obtain federal aid?
Well, Andrea, students will still have to fill out the FAFSA form and apply for aid. The difference is the aid will come directly from the federal government, cutting out banks and private loan companies.
All right, that's Chris Neal starting us off live tonight in the studio. Thanks, Chris.
Former U.S. Secretary of Treasury Henry Paulson is standing by his decision to support the controversial federal bank bailout during the Bush administration. Paulson visited the campus Monday afternoon to discuss his unpopular decision and his role in dealing with the global crisis in 2008. He shared his thoughts about health care, saying that immediate attention and reaction is necessary to leave a stable economy for our children and grandchildren. This speech marked the launch of UNC's Global Research Institute, a project aimed at finding solutions to key global issues.
While many campuses have already adopted student conduct policies inclusive of the LGBT community, the UNC system has now officially revised the code for all UNC system universities. The code now extends to the 16 universities within the UNC system. The revised part of the code prohibits bullying based on a person's race, color, religion, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, creed, disability, or veteran status. UNC senior Enrique Perez says although he feels UNC Chapel Hill is one of the more accepting campuses, the policy is an important step toward protecting students in the UNC system.
I don't think discrimination policies are actually set up as something you feel and walk around feeling. I think it's much more of it's a protection, and it's a protection that we feel is essential.
To read the rest of the UNC Conduct Code, go to carolinaweek.org.
The Triangle area is home to a surprising number of refugees. Most of them are from Burma or Bhutan. Bethany Tuggle is in the newsroom to introduce us to one family making the adjustment to a new culture and new way of life. Bethany?
Elizabeth, imagine having to move from one country to a refugee camp in another, then being told by officials in the second country that they no longer want you there either, before finally finding yourself in yet a third country.
Riverside High 10th grader Madhav Puriel was born in a refugee camp in Nepal. He says life as a refugee was hard.
I don't ever want to be a refugee again. So it's really bad.
Madhav's parents were among the 100,000 people forced to move from Bhutan to refugee camps in Nepal in the 1990s. Now, nearly 2 decades later, they're trying to find new homes after the Nepalese government decided to shut down the camps. 13 months ago, the Puriel family moved to its new home in Durham. But that doesn't mean the challenges this family faces are over. Adjusting to a new culture and new way of life is difficult, but Madhav is thankful despite the hardships.
People, they can have their own house, own property, and refugee life is so scary life.
Madhav's sister Bishnu is a student at Githens Middle and says despite the challenges, her new life is liberating compared to what they all faced in Nepal.
Yeah, but here we can live. Is a freedom here.
With this freedom, Bishnu and her family can do many things they weren't able to do in the camp.
Yeah, I like to be here. I'm proud to be here because, well, in Nepal we can't do anything.
This brother and sister have grown and flourished in their new lives, and in a world where everything is new and different to them, one thing remains the same.
I was a Madhav in camp, and I am Madhav here in USA, but everything else is changed.
Madhav told me the school in the camp was actually pretty good, but the only career choice graduates had was teaching.
So Bethany, what does he want to do for a career?
He still has a couple of years of high school left, so he doesn't have to decide yet, but he really likes science, music, and drama. His university of choice, of course, UNC.
Sounds like a big change for Madhav and his family. That's Bethany Tuggle reporting from the newsroom. Thanks, Bethany. Breast cancer killed more than 40,000 women in the U.S. last year.
Coming up, the extreme steps some women take after learning they're at high risk for this deadly disease.
You know, washing your clothes in cold water instead of hot uses 90% less energy.
I know.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
More women in America get breast cancer than any other type of cancer. In the first of a two-part series, health reporter Ann Johnson looks at how genetic testing is creating options for people at high risk for breast cancer.
Genetic testing has allowed women like Chapel Hill resident Alicia Altmuller to learn their likelihood of getting breast cancer. Her test revealed she was at high risk.
I had an 87% chance of having breast cancer.
Altmuller's family history of cancer goes back at least 4 generations. Genetic counselor Catherine Fine works with people who learn they're at high risk.
If we feel that an individual is at risk to harbor a mutation, then we would recommend genetic testing for them.
Technicians doing genetic testing look at two genes called BRCA1 and BRCA2. When these genes function normally, they keep tumors from growing in breast tissue. If a person has a genetic mutation, tumors can grow more easily. A person can inherit these mutations from either parent. In Alicia Altmuller's case, she inherited a BRCA1 mutation from her father's side. Having these genetic mutations can greatly increase a person's chance of developing breast cancer.
If a test comes back positive, a person faces a tough decision. Altmuller had her breasts removed in a surgery like this one before any cancer could develop. Surgeon Keith Amos says because of genetic testing, many women now face that dilemma.
There are a number of women who choose preventative surgery. They don't want to develop breast cancer, particularly if they've seen relatives like a mother or a sister or an aunt who has had breast cancer and had to go through the treatment.
That worry is off me. And I think that worries off us.
Cancer specialists say surgery represents the most effective preventive option available for women at high genetic risk. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ann Johnson for Carolina Week.
Many women who have preventive surgery also have a breast reconstruction. Next week, Ann will look at how the emotional aspects of choosing surgery when you have high risk but no actual diagnosis of cancer.
North Carolina's smoking ban went into effect on January 1st this year. And the Orange County Health Department isn't just blowing smoke. Franklin Street's Hookah Bliss is currently in violation of the smoking ban and facing a $600 fine. The bar serves alcohol and shisha and is operating as it did before the ban. If the bar continues to operate as is, the state will fine the owner $200 each day it's open. The owner, Adam Bliss, is planning to enter an appeals process. He and others are seeking to make hookah bars an exception to the ban.
4 UNC students are still without a home this evening, and local artists came together Monday night to raise money to help. After the residents of 506 Church Street lost their possessions in a fire, you see it right there, UNC junior Jacqueline Lee decided to host a fundraising event. About 30 people attended the intimate gathering at Lee's house, a regular spot for local shows. The lineup included Lee, Soft Spot, and DJ Reed Turchi. The donations will go to buy new clothes and furniture for the students. A resident of the house who also lost to the fire, Sheena Taub, also sang a few original songs. Taub says the amount of support from friends and strangers has helped to make life more normal after the fire.
Like, I'm still floored by every day still how people who I don't even know well often, who will just come up and be like, I'm so sorry, you know, if there's anything I can do. People have been donating tons of stuff.
Local residents have also begun other fundraising efforts, including a Facebook page.
When it comes to fundraisers, this one's pretty sweet, and the promise of free ice cream doesn't hurt either. This year's dance marathon might have just ended, but organizers are already gearing up for next year. Tuesday afternoon, the organization teamed up with Ben & Jerry's on Franklin Street to raise money for Dance Marathon 2011. Representatives from Dance Marathon took advantage of the ice cream store's generosity during Free Cone Day, hoping customers would show some generosity of their own and donate to a good cause. For a small donation, people could skip to the front of the line to get some free ice cream. You know, Andrea, I went to Free Cone Day yesterday, but the weather wasn't so great for ice cream.
You know, it really wasn't, but today the sun was just shining. Weathercaster John Boyer is here to tell us what we can expect from all this sunshine.
Yeah, you know, springtime can really bring us some nice warm and sunny days, and I hope you were able to enjoy it like these folks, but it can also bring us some rain showers. What kind of weather are we going to see this weekend? The full forecast is in 90 seconds.
Los peces del lago Crabtree y Briar Creek contienen productos químicos llamados PCB que son muy peligrosos para tu salud. Por eso, cada vez que pesques, siempre devuelve los peces al lago. No te olvides. Para más aclaración, llama a la línea de información y referencia al siguiente número o visita la siguiente página. Gracias.
Un día en el bosque las ratas jugaban. Fósforos que no es muy bueno. Escucha Smokey antes de tratar.
Solo tú.
No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. Fuego. No hay nada para que un pobre conejo asustado a un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si en el
puedes prevenir los fuegos forestales.
¿Cuáles son los números que importan en tu vida?
Tu salario.
¿Tu aniversario de bodas?
Los cumpleaños de tus hijos.
Si tienes diabetes, el número más importante es tu A1C.
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 El A1C es el número que le dice a tu doctor si tu diabetes estuvo bajo control los últimos 3 meses.
Porque si tu diabetes no está controlada...
Pregúntale a tu doctor cuál es tu A1C.
Pregúntale.
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 Pregúntale. Él lo sabe y tú debes saberlo también.
Únete a la campaña Ahora sé mi A1C.
Thank you for staying with us here on Carolina Week. I'm John Boyer. Of course, it's springtime, but you want to know what's happening for this weekend. Is it going to feel like spring? Unfortunately, there's some changes on the way, and I don't think you're going to like them. Some rain will be moving in, and it's going to feel a little cooler than what we've been experiencing this past week. Let's start out with the satellite picture. We're high and dry in central North Carolina, and there's some clouds way off to our west. They'll be slowly moving in over the next 24 hours. Here on the surface map, high pressure still in control of our weather. Our next weather maker is out over Oklahoma. It'll take its time getting to us. So for tonight, all we can expect are maybe a few clouds, otherwise calm winds, temperatures right around 46 degrees here in the Triangle. For the day tomorrow, heating up to 74. That's going to be nice, but it's also going to be kind of breezy, at least 15 miles an hour, maybe gusts up to 30 at times. So not the perfect day to eat lunch outside unless you want your napkins going everywhere. Now there will be some clouds. They'll be increasing late in the day ahead of our next system. This is the surface map for Thursday. The cold front has now advanced into Tennessee and Alabama, bringing them some rain. That'll be on our doorstep on Friday. We'll get some rain showers and some cooler temperatures going into the first part of the weekend. Now back behind it, there's some more clear skies, and that's what we have on tap for Saturday. Now basketball season is winding down. What comes next? Baseball. We have a 3-game series against Georgia Tech this weekend. What's it going to be like? Not perfect on Friday, a few showers, but still warm. Now Saturday we cool down some, but there will be some sun outside, so you can't have it all. Then, of course, on Sunday, we have another weather maker moving in. We'll be bringing some rain showers, so it's not going to be perfect either one of those 3 days. What else does springtime bring us? Spring brings us pollen. Now, most of the pollen outside right now is from trees. We're high right now. It's going to be getting higher as we move into Friday, although some relief could be in the offing for Saturday as the cooler temperatures and rain might help clear out some of the pollen. So the weather trend for your sky conditions over the next 5 days, of course, we have partly cloudy skies for Thursday and Saturday. Now in between for Friday, Sunday, and Monday, some rain showers, mostly light on Friday, mostly during the afternoon or evening hours on Sunday. Now Monday, depending on how warm we get, we could see maybe a storm or two. It is that time of year. Moving on to the temperature trend, that's where the real interesting action is. 74 tomorrow is going to be nice. It's going to be above normal. But we do take a dip down in our temperatures going into the weekend. 64 for Friday, upper 50s on Saturday. Maybe rebounding a little bit as we head into the first part of the work week, but the real story, the nighttime lows. 36, mid-30s for Friday morning, and some of the outlying rural areas could see temperatures right around freezing. So don't put away the jackets just yet. But of course, that will also improve as we head into the first part of the work week. Now, there could be some uncertainty as to what those numbers are, past Monday, but the computer models do tend to think that we could return to the 70s for that all-important Easter weekend.
Great. It sounds like there's a little bit of rain ahead, but we just have to wait it out another week.
Absolutely. If you can go for another week, I think you're going to like it.
Great.
That's right. Thanks, John.
All right.
Well, this edition of Pet of the Week features a special furry celebrity lookalike. Prancing all the way from Hillsboro, this domestic short-haired kitten might be a little curious, but is always a whole lot of fun. Her name is Greta. She's 2 years old, and like another famous cat, Garfield, she's an orange tabby. Can't you see the resemblance? Greta was a stray, but she's now looking for a new territory to discover. If you're interested in adopting her, go to our website, carolinaweek.org, for a link to the shelter.
With his massive Carolina blue horns, the UNC mascot is truly one of a kind, but that might not be such a good thing. Ramses the 18th is a Dorset horned ram, and according to American Livestock Breeds Conservancy, the population is rapidly declining. The organization recently moved the breed from watch status to threatened on its conservation priority list. Ramses is only one of its kind at Hogan's Magnolia View Farm, but his owner Rob Hogan plans to change that. Next month, he'll visit some flocks in Virginia to find Ramses a partner. You know, Andrea, speaking of Ramses, I hear he's going to New York this weekend.
He sure is. The Tar Heels are rolling right along to the NIT. Sportscaster Justin Page joins us.
No, huge win for the Tar Heels last night. And as you said, Andrea, moving on to the Final Four of the NIT. But yesterday was a big day for a different sport. Coming up after the break, You might be surprised to see which former Tar Heels were back in Chapel Hill for Pro Day.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
No, what'd she say?
She said whatever.
No, she says that all the time.
What's that?
Hello? I'm on the phone. Mom, I'm on the phone! Hello? I'm on the phone.
Who's this? It's me. I'm on the phone. Mom.
Oh, you're on the phone. All right. Sorry. Sorry. Anyway.
Who are you talking to? Kelly?
Mom.
All right.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
My name's Brandon. I'm 9 years old, being alcoholic.
Hi, Brandon.
I'll start drinking with the older kids. And whatever they do, I'll do.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults. So start talking before they start drinking.
I know it'll start with alcohol. I'm just not sure how it's gonna end.
Welcome to sports. I'm Justin Page. Indianapolis would be the ideal place to be for a Final Four this year, but another trip to Madison Square Garden isn't the worst thing in the world for the men's basketball team. Last night in Birmingham against UAB, that's Larry Drew nailing a 3 to break the tie, and Dexter Strickland will get this layup to drop, capping the 7-0 run Drew started. After the Blazers fought back to tie the score, check out Will Graves in the circle. He sets the screen to free up big man John Henson for the jam. That's how you execute on offense. And just for good measure, watch Henson again. Gets the spin move going and the left hook for 2. And the new master of clutch, Larry Drew, slices through the defense for the layup. Look at that again. And to erase any doubt, Dexter Strickland snags the loose ball, and that'll do it. Let's go to the Big Apple. The NFL draft is less than a month away, and UNC players are showing off for scouts. Tuesday was UNC's Pro Day. More than 30 scouts pulled out their stopwatches to time players in a variety of drills. The 40-yard dash clocks players' explosive speed, while the shuttle drill measures his agility. 14 Tar Heels participated in the workouts, and the most highly rated of them is defensive tackle Cam Thomas. Thomas says getting drafted will be an emotional experience.
I'm gonna cry. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, me and cry. So, it's a blessing. Something I wanted to do since I was little. And I'm out here actually doing it, got the opportunity to do it, because most guys don't get this opportunity.
Thomas is projected by experts to be a 2nd or 3rd round pick. What happens when your dreams pass you by? Reporter Gabe Hyatt tells us about some former Tar Heels who refused to give up on their NFL aspirations.
2008 was a breakthrough year for UNC quarterback Cam Sexton. He replaced an injured TJ Yates in a tight Miami game to lead the Tar Heels to an upset victory. But Coach Butch Davis decided to go back to Yates when Sexton started to struggle. After the season, Sexton graduated and used his last year of eligibility at Catawba College. He wishes he'd never left.
Because this is my home. I love it here. I mean, it's just, I miss my teammates a lot, and I knew I would, but you don't really appreciate it until you're gone.
Now he's back at Navy practice field for UNC Pro Day, strutting his stuff for NFL scouts in the hopes that he'll make an NFL roster. He's not the only former Tar Heel refusing to give up. Safety Tremaine Goddard, receiver Kenton Thornton, and linebacker Darrell Mapp also worked out at Pro Day. Mapp said the homecoming is bittersweet.
It's kind of a good feeling and a bad feeling at the same time that I have to come back and reprove myself when we're back at the same ground that I already proved myself.
Senior defensive end E.J. Wilson thinks his old teammates could make it in the NFL.
If Cam was at the combine, he would have been the most athletic quarterback there. Kenton Thornton, I mean, he possesses he's an advantage player because he can play wide receiver. He also can play tight end. And Darrell Mapp is just a great football player.
Sexton is counting on his athleticism to raise eyebrows. Cam's speed sets him apart from other quarterbacks. Today he heard from some scouts that he ran a 4.440, a blistering time for his position. This could be the last shot for players like Sexton to publicize themselves as pro prospects. Sexton says there's no quit in him.
I don't know any other way. This is the way I felt since I was a little kid, and I've never changed that opinion. I mean, I've been through so much, and my confidence has never been shaken.
Confidence can be a game changer in athletics. In Chapel Hill, I'm Gabe Hyatt, Carolina Week Sports.
Sexton attributed his strong performance to a familiar setting and support from former teammates. If you're hanging out in Chapel Hill this weekend, you have lots of viewing options, and as far as sports go. The baseball team hosts Georgia Tech for a weekend series, while the softball team hosts one of our neighbors, the Wolfpack of NC State. The top-ranked women's tennis team will be in action on both Saturday and Sunday, and the undefeated men's lacrosse team has a big game Saturday. The Heels look to continue their streak against ACC foe Maryland. So certainly, hopefully the weather keeps up, and get out there and root on your Heels.
I hope I have time to make it to all those. It looks like fun.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, thanks. Graduation is a little more than a few months away, and seniors are thinking more than ever about the future.
Coming up, we'll tell you about one student who's chasing his dreams of hip-hop fame all the way to Wall Street.
Call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week and Carolina Connection online at carolinaweek.org.
Is bad air quality ruining your day? Check the Outdoor Air Quality Index before leaving home to avoid the aggravations of smog. For more information about asthma and air quality, check online or call your local health department.
These things we count on every day started as ideas. Ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support minority education today so we don't miss out on the next big idea tomorrow. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
But if I'd already landed a job on Wall Street, I think I'd be coasting through the final 2 months of college.
But Julie LaRoche tells us one Tar Heel isn't slowing down just yet.
Alan Mask is a beat ahead of most students. He already has a job lined up after graduation. It's a good job with an investment bank on Wall Street. He's passionate about business. But this is also where his heart is. He hopes to be a hip-hop artist, and he just released his first album. Mask makes his passions work in perfect harmony.
It's just you have to find a balance, and if anything, it cuts into my sleep, but I find a way to get it done.
Mask's daily rhythm goes late into the night rehearsing in his Chapel Hill home or in a studio with music producer Eric Sim. Sim says Mask is always energetic in the studio.
He's a goofball, and he just, whenever we do something like brilliant, he just goes nuts.
But this future financial analyst says it's not easy releasing an album.
It's very expensive. It's a very, very, very expensive process to put out a piece of music that is as big as the CD was, and it's definitely difficult, and we're going broke now.
He hopes to continue his hip-hop groove and break even through album sales and contributions. You can download his album at www.thinkofpation.com. In Chapel Hill, I'm Julia LaRoche, Carolina Week.
Well, Alan Mask is so talented. I actually know him. You do too,
Me
right?
too, yeah. He's got it all going on.
He has so many talents.
Yes, it's incredible.
Talents, for sure. And I don't know if y'all knew, but Sean Kingston is coming to UNC. He sure is.
It's a big name.
April 11th, Sunday.
Definitely got to enjoy that.
Yeah. I know, I do too. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.